Welcome back to another episode of Put It on the List. I'm Francisco, and I'm here with my brother from another mother and another father. Actually, not related at all, my friend Andres. We got a crazy show today. We have dragons, rings, dinosaurs, and some murders. Tons of news, trailers, and talking some nerd shit. We also have another double feature for you guys today. Let's start the show. What's up, Andres?
What's up, my man? How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Trying to stay cool in this heat wave.
You know what's nuts? It's not hitting up north as much as we were supposed to get hit. They like downgraded us to
Oh yeah,
not a heat wave anymore. We're like in the 70s,
that's nice. We are not in the
like it
70s.
like in the low 70s, high 60s. It's crazy.
Damn.
Anyways, enough of that bragging.
All right.
How's everything else?
Good, man. Good. Excited. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We watched some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Looking forward to
Yeah,
it. Let's start with some news and tidbits.
yeah.
A little on the, streaming aspect of it. Paramount Plus is integrating Showtime, so you guys can get Paramount Plus and Showtime together instead of paying $10 for two different apps. It's $12.99 for both. So you can do it on your Paramount Plus app, and it'll have all your Showtime stuff on there.
It's hilarious, man. It's like cut the cable, because cable's so expensive.
Yeah.
Has anyone done the math on all of these fucking channels and apps and all of this stuff now? It's
Yeah.
getting like it's getting a lot out of control.
No, yeah. I mean, if one person's paying for everything, then yeah, I can see that. But man, everybody shares passwords, so it's like
I,
you
I
pay
don't know what you're
this,
talking about.
okay, buddy.
I don't understand.
Yeah. So I think it's a shared cost thing
Or a fucking no cost thing for some people.
for some people, yeah. And also you can pick and choose what you want. Like
Yeah,
cable is
that's
like,
cool.
some people might only want Netflix or whatever.
And you could also drop it for a month or two and pick it up for a month, and it's easy. It's like you don't
Yeah.
gotta be on hold for 20 minutes and fight with an operator and then
Yeah. I don't
explain
want this shit no
why.
more. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me transfer you to the other department. Thank you,
Yeah. Yeah.
fuckers. But yeah,
Well,
that's
send it.
cool.
Yeah. All right. Next we
Showtime
got
has Showtime has cool stuff though. Sorry, but yeah,
yeah.
Showtime has some really cool
Yeah.
shows, man,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Paramount too. So that's a good pickup. That's a good pickup.
Yeah. 12.99 for both. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
that's a good pickup.
Paramount has NFL on it. You can watch
Does
football
it?
games. Yeah, you can watch football games on it. I think it has like a lot of soccer stuff, like the UEFA Champions League, and I think it's
Oh
gonna
wow.
have the World Cup. So,
Oh
I mean,
shit.
Paramount has sports,
So we're
live
going to the World
sports.
Cup. Is it 8 years we're gonna go?
Yeah.
7 years we're gonna
No,
go.
no,
Seven
no. Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 28, I think it is, right? 26.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know, but we're gonna go.
yeah. Wi-Fi Stadium, Lo-Fi, SoFi, whatever that's
Something.
called.
We're gonna go.
All
Uh,
right.
moving on.
Moving on, we got. It's so funny because last episode you were talking about the
Yeah,
director and the
yeah,
showrunner, and now
yeah,
he exits the show.
yeah.
Not
Is
good
someone listening to our
news.
podcast? Is one of our fucking 50 listeners?
Yeah,
They can, HBO.
yeah,
I did tag them. They might have. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know, man. Interesting news. I can't say his name. What can you say his
Miguel
name?
Spotchtek. Check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well.
he's again. He to recap. He's the guy that directed all the big ass like spectacle Game of
Yeah.
Thrones episodes like Hard Home and the Battle of the Bastards and the fucking Ice Walker battle and see the last season. That dude's awesome. But here's
Yeah.
the thing, like he's good at the big spectacle action when it came to like the talking, walking and talking.
Yeah.
In my opinion, not so much. Like
Yeah.
the first episode of Game of Thrones, I didn't think it was executed very well. I didn't like the angles of the shots. I just didn't like the pace. There's just like a lack of drama, like an interest. It was just visually, it wasn't as interesting. And then now the dude's gone, and he was one of the two showrunners. So the main dude, who's the showrunner, is going to be going with it, which leads us into, I think, the next story. Did we already say, or was it last week that they renewed it for season 2 after the first episode aired?
Yeah.
So that they've got some faith in the show, which is really cool.
Yeah. And the viewership is not down, so it just keeps getting higher and higher. So it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with the viewership, as far as we know. It's just probably like artistic differences, or somebody not getting what they want. You know.
Something, but yeah. So he said he was burned out.
Could
But
be.
I don't know.
You know, pressure's a motherfucker. You know, so
Only mostly.
so you can only hold up everything so long. So I can see that mental health is important, dude.
Production's hard. This is like a 20-hour day
Yeah,
job.
yeah, for sure. And then you wake up and the first thing you see, you got like 1,000 notices on your phone, like this happened and this happened. You're like,
Yeah,
shit.
your phone's on fire by like noon. You have to, like, fuck.
You can't even enjoy your morning pee.
You're like, we can't find the dragons. The dragons are fucking went out for a walk and didn't come back from the mall.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, ah,
The Dragons ate half of Detroit. Anyways, moving on. Good luck to the show. Anyways, moving on. Dune the Sisterhood. What the fuck, bro?
I never knew they were making this show.
What is this?
Did you?
No, I had no idea.
Apparently, there's a show. It's a spin-off from the Dune film, based on like the beginning of the film, like the sisters or whoever they are.
Oh, the
I forgot what they're
witches.
called. Yeah, I don't know, the freaky ones with the freaky
yeah.
ship and like the freaky
Yeah,
box
yeah.
with the freaky needle.
Yeah.
They're getting a spin-off and they're gonna have their own series. And apparently, I think they're already filming it. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I never even heard of it.
I kind of, now that you're describing it, I kind of vaguely remember that. And I was like, oh, are they going to do that with every movie? Because they did that with Peacemaker,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, like, are they just going to, like, give everybody a spinoff? But I had totally forgotten about it. But
I don't remember. But yeah, but it's cool, I guess. It could be
yeah.
interesting.
I like the Doom world that they started, so I like to go back in there, check it out.
And they started shooting the sequel to Dune like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm like, hell yeah.
That's gonna be an IMAX, bro. That
Dude,
has to be an IMAX.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I totally agree. All right. Next one.
All right. A little movie. I don't know if people saw it, but it's Nobody's getting a sequel, starring
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk. Thank you. I was thinking, Better Call Saul, but I'm like, what's his name? Bob Odenkirk, and it's from the writers of the original John Wick, right? The first one, the Nobody movie.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool little movie. This guy, he's a nobody or like a pushover, but he has a secret past, and I guess he's a Mr. Badass, when he wants to be.
When the time calls for it.
Yeah, and so the first one was really fun. I'm looking forward to. I'll watch another one. What about you?
I found out about this movie from my dad. My dad was like, "Have you heard of this movie? You should watch it." I'm like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And I think I watched a trailer. I'm like, "Oh," and then it was on HBO. I don't know. It was on one of the streamers. I think it was HBO or something. And it was like, "Holy shit, this movie's awesome!" And even Christina loved it. She was like, "This movie's amazing." I'm like, "Dude, this is like 10 times better than it should have been."
Yeah.
Like, and Bob Odenkirk gives a great performance. I'm like, this guy, man, like it's different and it's over the top and a lot of fun and really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out Nobody if people haven't seen that. And if a sequel comes, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be cool.
And I think it is still on HBO, so that's where you can check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, man. Next up, we got What We Watched. All right, buddy.
Yeah. Watch some stuff.
Yeah, we did. House of the Dragon, episode 2.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
I liked it more than the first one. The
good.
first one was good enough to like give me into the second episode.
Yeah.
And the second episode, I'm like, okay, it felt like they were kind of like starting to hit a stride, and like I thought it was way better shot. I think everything was so much better.
Yeah.
And they're starting to pick it up, and there's starting to be consequences, and there's a couple shots in there where like, ooh,
Yeah.
and you can see they're more, the chessboard is becoming apparent, like who's going what and where and what they're trying to do, and you're like, okay, like this is cool.
Yeah.
So it's fun. So it's a little bit of a slow burn, but how are you? I know you were digging it.
Yeah, I dig it, but I definitely have like some like picking nits, like it's a little too serious, too self-serious, like it'd be okay if like, we're missing that Tyrion humor, somebody to deliver
Dude.
like a little quirk or something, like something.
We actually started watching after we watched this episode. I was like, you know what? Let's put on the original first episode of the very first Game of Thrones. That shit is so good. Like we watched it again, and like Tyrion and everything, like the balance and the pacing.
Yeah.
Like that. I think we're 3 episodes in just because we were just super digging. Like we got to keep watching. Like it's fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a bit of, I think I haven't gone back to rewatch it, but I remember when Game of Thrones came out, I had to try to watch it 3 or 4 times. Like I couldn't get it. Like I was like,
Yeah.
even the first episode, I was like, okay, these guys are speaking with an accent. I don't know anybody's fucking names, and it's kind of boring, And I had to do that like 3 times with the first one, the 1st Game of Thrones. But I mean, now that it has all this, legacy behind it, we go back and watch it, everybody. So you're like, oh, yeah, this fucking guy, So I think that's like a little bit of a revisionist kind of history, but
I totally agree. I think also I read some of the books. I think around after I watched maybe 2 or 3 seasons, I read some of the books, and that like opened it up even further. I was like, I really understand. I could pronounce people's names and shit. I'm like, oh, okay, who's related to who? Because dude, it's so easy to get lost in that world.
Yeah, and one other thing is that speaking to the showrunner leaving, it's like, man, this show, like, I think it's good enough, and it's keeping me interested. I want to know where it's going and stuff. I just want a little bit of balance, or like I want to know what's up with other families, I want to know what's going on with other clans. And so this show is carrying the weight of 8 years of Game of Thrones, and it's kind of hard to get everything you need in 2 episodes.
Sure.
So I'm pulling for it. It just needs to move on.
It's focused, but it needs to open up a little bit. It's starting to. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But we're in, so we'll check it out.
Yeah. It looks amazing though, beautiful. Like to me, like the special effects and stuff. Some people were shitting on the special effects I read. Did you have a problem with
stupid?
Did you have a problem with any of the special effects?
Nah.
Not really, right? Yeah. Like,
there were some great shots in there. So whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next one.
All right. The Rings of Power. Rings, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. All right, my guy. I watched both of them. You said you watched one.
I only watched one so far.
Yeah. What are your first initial thoughts, my friend?
I was super like, does this show need to even exist? So I was a little like, okay, I guess. And
before?
Then, because The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And like The Hobbit was so terrible.
Sour taste, yeah.
And like clearly no one gave a crap working on that film. They just did it because they had to.
Yeah.
And there's like zero story. Anyways, it's a pure cash grab. So this was like, okay, and it's on Prime. Like, okay. So we watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think within the first 10 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, I think we said holy shit several times. And we were like, dude, like they fucking turned it to 11. And by the time the episode's over, we're like, I can't believe I watched the next one yet because it was this late last night. But man, I'm fucking in. I'm in. Holy shit.
Yeah. Me too, man. These are the notes I wrote, and all on the positive side. score, scope, effects, humor. I mean, like
Designs.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, everything. They're everything. I'm like, damn. And then another note. If I had the time, I would rewatch them both again, like right now. Put it on,
Dude,
fine. I'm fucking good. I'll watch it.
it
I'll
went
watch them
from
over.
like and it went from like insanity to like some holy shit moments. Even Christina was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, yeah.
To like a few minutes later to like being absolutely charming. I was like, "What is this?
It has
What is?"
heart.
I'm like, "This is charming. Like
Yeah,
this is." I was in. Yeah, I was like, "Damn!" Like that was a tonal shift,
yeah,
and they needed it. And it's like the tonal shift that Game of Thrones doesn't have. Like it's just
yeah.
like this is
And I
really
think too because this they took a long time developing this because it's been in the works for like 4 or 5 years, right? And it's like, damn, dude, like they took care of it, and I feel like
dude. It
um
shows
it
like the
shows it's paying
costumes and the
off.
locations and the sets and the
Yeah,
designs and dude
yeah,
and it's gorgeous. Like I
yeah.
got
It's
Game of Thrones is
gorgeous.
good looking, but this film it just blew it away.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was like there's so many gorgeous shots in this. I don't know what to tell you, man. This is like,
I can't wait for you to watch the second episode. I'm excited for
dude,
you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is top of the list right now. This is like crazy.
Dude, I stayed up Thursday night watching this shit. I was so tired at work.
Is it worth it?
Oh yeah, worth it, 100%. But I was dragging ass at work. But I was like, oh man, Galadriel, she's badass.
So she's supposed to be Kate Blanchett, right, from the films, and then the other dude Elrond is supposed to be Hugo Weaving
Yeah,
from the films. I
when they were
guess.
young,
I
yeah.
had, I thought he could have done his voice a little bit closer to Hugo Weaving. Other than that,
Hugo
you
Weaving
know,
has a
he's
specific voice though. That
dude.
guy,
You could work towards it. I don't know,
I don't know.
but anyways, it's fucking pretty dope.
Yeah,
I don't want can't spoil anything.
no,
There's
we
not a lot to
can't.
spoil,
Yeah,
but I was super happy. Like I'm like
yeah,
this is the unexpected
yeah.
surprise. So happy it's
The
like
score
so
was
cool. And
really good. Every time something would happen, I'm like, "Ooh, the fucking
yeah,
music hits!" Like, yeah,
yeah.
man, it was fucking good, dude. All over the place. Yeah, and the design and all that shit, the costumes, everything, bro. I had I
And
had
then
no real nitpicks. I was like, just don't end. That's my only nitpick. Don't end. Keep going.
and they said they already have season 2 underway, so they're taking this shit serious. And I think the other weird thing that I added under this is
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand this shit. Like apparently Amazon shut off reviews from the show because they were
Mhm.
getting negative review bombed.
Yeah.
What I just it's such a stupid thing. I just ignore all that shit. I try to
Yeah.
ignore most reviews and public reviews, and when people like review bomb like Star Wars or Miss Marvel, because I guess there's like 3 dudes out there who have like a troll farm that don't like female actresses or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. They're shitheads. Who gives a fuck about them? The show's awesome. I
Yeah.
thought that was like a really weird telling thing.
Yeah.
People just want to watch the world burn. Fuck those people.
Yeah. It's funny. So, like I said, I stayed up watching it, and on Thursday night when it came out, and I was like, I looked at the reviews and I had 1 star. I had one review and it was 1 star, right? And I'm like, I was gonna get on there like, I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna put a 5 star, right? And it'll be 2, but it was already frozen. So it was already frozen then, and the next day it was actually they removed the rating from it. And
Wow.
then I saw the article you posted and stuff on the document,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, that makes sense. What I don't know who's doing it, but it's just dumb.
It's like 4 angry dudes, maybe.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
some
know if they're
kindergarten shit.
upset.
You know?
They're like because it's like I think one of the main stars is a woman. I have no idea. I don't care about that shit.
Yeah,
Moving on. People are
yeah,
shitheads. That Rings of Power on Prime is kicking ass so far,
yeah. Put it on your list, man. That is a
dude.
definitely top of the list.
We're gonna watch the second one probably in the next couple hours after we're done here.
Sounds
Cause
good.
dude. All right, next one.
Next one, season 2, Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. I gotta say, I caught up and I finished it. I don't know that you guys
Uh,
finished it.
yeah, we finished. Um, we'll give some general things. Do you want to get some spoilery stuff? We haven't done any spoilers in a while.
It's been out. I mean, it's been out for a couple months. It
Yeah,
was
they're filming the 3rd season right now.
so. I mean, We can do a little spoilers.
All right. So we did our overall Only Warriors in the Building last week, so you can listen to that one, folks. But we'll do some full-on spoilers for season 1 and 2. All right. 3 spoilers coming. 2, 1. Spoiler away. What you got?
It was like specifically season 2. I like the twist. I kind of figured out that they were posing that. I don't know that. I thought it was Tina Fey that killed her. Like that. I mean, they
Yeah, me
yeah.
too.
So they
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like pulled the rug from. But I knew that Steve Martin was staged. I'm like, there's no
Of
way
course.
he's dying. But
No.
but but it was a cool little twist and stuff. So I like
I
that.
didn't see it coming. I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't see the twist of the twist of the
Yeah,
twist. So
yeah,
like the stage production and the idea that they keep bringing back like these themes of like um using the theme of of a podcast per episode to
yeah,
like pace it out, and then to use Martin Short's theatrical background,
yeah,
and they keep pulling that in and sprinkling, and it's so hilarious, and that's how they
yeah,
ended the season with. So that shit's like it's so funny, and like
yeah,
I love that little stuff. It just makes it interesting.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and what's his name? The detective,
Oh yeah, Michael Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport, correct.
Yeah,
He brought in he brought in the heat. He was at a 10, and I'm like, especially when he had that boxing scene with Selena Gomez, and you're like, damn,
yeah.
bro, like you're a fucking dick, like he was being a fucking big ass prick, and um, and then like, oh, I fell in love with the most beautiful woman in the world or the smartest woman in the world. And then that's kind of what a little nitpick that I had is like they show you who was at the bar, but they only show you like a little bit. I don't know. It's like I
Yeah,
felt like it was a little bit of a cheat, like, oh yeah,
yeah.
you know, we'll pan the camera off this way to show the whole picture. I'm like, so I thought that was a little misleading, a
I thought
little
there was
red
some.
herring.
I thought it was a little. This season was. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first one
Uh
because they
huh.
kind of kept the first season a little more simplified, but there was still plenty of twisty. This
Hmm.
one they kind of opened it up too much, where they had to kind of do some stretches of like logic. I'm like, wait, what,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of character stuff that didn't really make sense. But I'm like, all right, whatever. It's just a comedy. I'm just going with it,
Yeah.
and ultimately it was satisfying in the end. So I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. Um, and I come to the conclusion that I think like when you watch the show, the first 8 episodes are total throwaways for the most part. Like you're not really gonna know what's going on until like, the
Yeah.
last 2 episodes,
Yeah.
and that's when they really start to like put the screws in. So just enjoy yourself for the first 8. Don't think about it, and just
Yeah.
enjoy the last 2.
Yeah, I really like the bunny episode. I'm like, damn, I really like
Yeah,
this lady now,
yeah,
and now she's fucking
yeah,
gone. Like, I don't know, what
yeah.
did you do that to me for? And like now I've invested in this fucking lady that's dead, and it's like she wasn't. And I was like, I visited New York once, and I'm like, I totally saw that lady there. I think she cussed me out one day, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I was too happy in the subway. Shut the fuck up, or why the fuck are you so happy? I'm like, sorry, lady. I'm a tourist, and like a New Yorker fucking chewed me out. But whatever. But I'm like,
That's
damn, they're
pretty
like,
funny.
so, so I like the bunny episode, but I'm kind of sad about it. And
Yeah,
for me, the standouts were like, man, the physical comedy that those two guys in their 70s have
dude.
is amazing. I'm like, I love them, man. They're so good, dude. And it's like, there's nobody that does it like that. You know what I'm saying? That tells a story that way, or like when they did the
Yeah.
fucking slow motion thing, I was fucking busting up laughing. And man, I wish they would do more stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hopefully they'll do more things now,
This
or I mean,
episode
they're
was sillier.
older. You know what I'm saying? But I really enjoy their work and stuff, and it reminds me of the shit we used to watch when we were kids. Like the Three
Yeah,
Amigos and the
yeah.
the Jerk, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Love Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah, man, like, all that stuff, man. And there's no real humor like that now.
Yeah, and it's just refreshing. It's so
Yeah.
refreshing. It's just nice. And I'm like, all right. And it's not like cheap. It's just
Yeah.
like well done.
Yeah.
Just well done humor. It's like sharp. And these
Yeah.
guys are top of the game. Like these guys are masters. And it's
Yeah.
so cool getting to watch them do their thing.
Yeah. The one nitpick I have, like, damn, I'm the nitpicky guy today. But the one nitpick thing I have is that it was a little too meta, like a little too self aware. There was like, I'm like, come on, like there was a couple moments where I was like it was like, oh, you're referencing yourself right now. What's going on? Like, see, we're in season two because there was like season two of the podcast, but it was like season
Yeah,
two of the show. There's a few
yeah.
moments like that through that kind of like made me feel a little weird. I'm like,
They, there's some other self-referential stuff like this episode is not that good. When they said that
yeah,
line, like
yeah,
more needs to happen in this episode.
yeah,
You're like, but I let everything go. It's just a silly, funny
yeah,
thing, and it's awesome to see those two doing their thing, and
yeah,
I just laugh. And dude,
yeah.
there's so many story plot points with holes in them. I just let it all. I let it all go with this show because this show does not take itself serious, so I don't
Yeah.
try to take it serious.
It reminded me a little bit of the last episode, like a funny ass the Knives Out movie. You know what I'm saying? With like all the,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like all the twists and
yeah,
turns and shit. I'm
yeah,
like, oh man, it makes me want to watch that movie. But yeah, and also like the the little side story, well, not little, but the side story of Martin Short being the dad or not being the dad with Nathan Lane, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
conclusion with the and the elevator and stuff and everything.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that this season was a little bit more successful in being more inclusive with side characters because you also
Oh
have like
yeah,
the 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 guy with the cat, the gay guy that went on a date, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
so there was a lot of cool little side stories and stuff that
yeah.
was, I think, better crafted than the first season. But again, a lot of the main part, like who murdered, it was like wasn't even being addressed like half of the fucking episode. You know what I'm saying? But whatever.
It's still enjoyable.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And one
so
thing
for
that
them,
didn't click all the way for me was like the whole that Selena's dad with the puzzle pieces. I'm like, what the fuck is that? to do with fucking- I don't see the whole picture. I'm like, come down. You know what I'm
yeah, I
talking
have
about?
no idea. Yeah, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just have no idea. I
They
just
didn't
went with it.
conclude it. They didn't. They didn't. They just left the pieces on the fucking thing. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, I just whatever. But yeah, and super enjoyable on Hulu, and I'm
Yeah.
deep diving into my Hulu, so it's fucking been fun.
Yeah. Next up, we got I don't know Primal. Did you watch any, or how are you doing with Primal?
Yeah, we almost finished the first episode
Oh,
because we
okay.
were just trying to like fill some time real quick, and I'm like, let's check this thing out real quick.
Okay.
And dude, within like what 5 or 10 minutes, we were like hooked. Like we were just like, like this show's nuts. Like and you told me ahead of time, which there's cavemen, so they don't. There's no language.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like grunts and running around
Yeah.
and trying to survive in a crazy environment and
Yeah.
doing a thing and it goes places and you're like, holy shit, like dude. And the animation is so it's not like it's polished. It's like
Yeah. It's raw.
it's rough.
Yeah.
It's raw, but it totally works.
Yeah.
And like the timing and like the design overall
Yeah.
and like the composition of everything is
Yeah.
like it's gorgeous. Like it's really really impressive.
Yeah. It's so funny that the amount of time it would take for us to tell the story that this does with moving pictures is insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, um,
It's
it's
like a
just
master class in storytelling.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty
dude.
like it's so cool that HBO picked up the show.
Yeah, it's we're caught up. It's still season two is still airing, so there's a new episode this week of season two. So we're just down that one episode, but yeah, man, great. That's my note. Great storytelling. A lot of ups and downs emotionally. So it's a lot of like if it doesn't let up, you know what I'm saying? Like it keeps going with
The pacing's crazy.
yeah,
I'm just like, what,
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. So
And yeah, it's so impressive. I don't know what else to say. Primal and HBO Max. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. It's like
yeah,
it's different and it's like a masterclass in storytelling.
yeah. Shout out Dave for the recommendation.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I watched the show called Rap Shit on HBO Max, and it's about a female rapper trying to get her career started in the rap game, and
Hmm.
she hooks up with the old friend, and they decide to become a group, and they start developing their act and their career, and it just kind of goes through that whatever goes behind the scenes with that. And
So this is a scripted show on HBO.
it's a scripted show, yeah. It's set in
Okay.
Miami and stuff. And like the one girl that raps a lot, she wants to be a self-conscious kind of rapper where she talks about politics and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that shit don't hit. People don't want to listen to that shit. And the other girls, like, she wants to rap like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and pop that pussy and that kind of shit, you know? And so they
Yeah,
kind of like, they have a
an
different,
aspirational. Yeah, she has
yeah.
aspirations.
And like
Clearly.
what this show does do is kind of like, um, because a lot of people are like, oh, that's empowering. Women talking about their own bodies and this and that. And I'll agree uh with that because I'm like, guys have been doing that forever. You know what I'm saying? Guys have been the Two Life Crew and all that stuff. You know, they talk about having sex with women, being like really misogynistic, and all the way up to like Drake and Lil Wayne and like so misogyny and rap exists. You know what I'm saying? So and it's a big seller.
No.
It's a big seller. Um,
What?
so I this is how my analogy is like when the girls do it, it's just like the guys, but it's just like it's just a dick. What did I put on here? Let me see my notes. Dick swinging contest. You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh.
that's how like I got a big dick, blah blah blah. I got a big dick. Like that's how I can reconcile it in my head with women and females rapping like that. You know what I'm saying? They're just having fun. You know what I'm saying? Just like guys are just having fun. Like half the shit they say they don't fucking mean. You know what I'm saying? They're just like funny.
Sure.
It's funny shit to
They're just
us.
playing character. They're playing
Yeah,
characters.
yeah. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was I think 8 episodes.
All right. So you finished the whole thing?
The new one just came out on Thursday and I'm missing the finale, but I watched the rest. And there's a lot of other like real life drama stuff. Like one of the girls has a daughter and she's like she wants to make a better life for her and her daughter, you know what I'm saying? And this
Yeah.
is the outlet that she's chosen to try to do that for her daughter to get out of the ghetto and do kind of thing, do better for her daughter.
Sure. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's different storytelling, but at the end it tries to be uplifting. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool, and I love rap, so that's why I started it. I started this journey with it because I love rap music, and yeah, and it was cool. I recommend it.
Let me ask you, as myself, who's not really huge into rap,
Yes.
but do you think I like the show still?
I think it would be a hard sell.
Okay.
I think it would be a hard sell because besides the it's pretty graphic and there's a lot of I don't know, man. At some points I was like, "Ooh, that's rough. It's a little rough," in this day and age, but whatever. They put it in the show, you got to watch it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not huge into like the rap persona thing. I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like actor. It's like actors who can't. It's like once they leave the set, they have to like leave that character on like all the time,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I just kind of like it's too much for me
And like nowadays
sometimes.
rap, like a lot of these rappers, the way they get on, quote unquote on is through social media. So these fucking people are always on TikTok and Instagram and they do like freestyles or whatever they do, post their songs on there. And um it's like it's kind of like I'm not really a social media person, so it's not like I can relate to that part of it. So, and I
Sure.
think you're the same. I don't think you're on a social media. I don't think you're on it a lot.
Not on the TikToks,
Uh,
not too much. And
And
if I am, it's not for those. It's usually for like art and music,
yeah,
like simple.
yeah, yeah. So it's it's interesting. So everybody else out there that likes rap music, check it out.
Yeah, cool. Which a lot of people do. I bet it's gonna do well.
Yeah, I think it got renewed for a second season already too. It's
There you
from
go.
the
So it's
it's
doing
from
well.
the girl that wrote and starred in Insecure, also another show that won some Emmys on HBO.
I think you mean woman, not girl. You sexist piece of shit.
Woman, Issa Rae.
Oh yeah, I know her. Yeah, I don't like her at all.
Yeah, so
Well, I tried, man. I tried watching some of the stuff and it didn't click.
well, like me, like I don't know. I think I tried watching Euphoria.
Oh, I didn't watch Euphoria. I watched the trailer and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
There's another show she was on, and I think we got a couple episodes in, and I was like, it's cool. I mean, she has a whole thing on Masterclass where she talks about her process and how she kind of broke from a YouTube, making stuff on YouTube for herself,
Yeah.
into like, and just building that and building a brand and getting legit shows, and now she's like a full on, like she's a full producer, so it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
The last thing that we watched this week,
Oh yeah.
Untold, which
Oh
is
yeah.
a series on Netflix. And this is they have several. And the one that I think we both watched was And One,
Yeah.
the shoe / merchandising company.
Yeah, yeah.
This was interesting because I didn't even know this show existed. And I saw this And One thing. I'm like, oh wait a minute, my little brother Joe, shout out Joe, he
Joe.
loved this brand. Loves the brand back in the day. He had like all their shoes, loves them. And I never understood. I didn't. If it wasn't for Joe, I would have never had a clue what And One was because that was not my world at all.
Yeah.
But I recognized the brand.
Sports.
So then
Sports.
street ball.
Sports was not your world.
What is the sports ball? Hey, I knew football, all the good stuff. Baseball, man, that's another story for another time. Anyways, going to like Padre games at the old Jack Murphy Stadium. Anyways, but this documentary, you watched it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting. And what were your thoughts on it?
It was like a nostalgia for me, like because I also had, I didn't have the shoes, but I had a lot of the gear, like the shirts and the shorts, and yeah, I used to play basketball every day after high school at the elementary school in my little town. Go to go play, and then yeah, man, I love basketball and I used to play, and then the mixtapes came out. You're like, oh man, they're doing crazy moves, and I recognize the names. And
How did you first watch one of those mixtapes? Because I never even heard of that shit. Because basketball was not my thing. In high school, early.
through a friend, somebody had a tape.
Someone just had it. All right.
Through a friend, they're like, "Oh, check this out." But like, I think, like you said, like the circles you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like people that are into rap, they're gonna be like, "Oh, here's the new rap tape. Have you listened to this?" People are into basketball. They're gonna show you, you know, like, "Oh, did you see this highlight? You should see this," and they'll show you, you know, whatever they got. You know, it's always and like comic books. You know, like, "Oh man, did you read the new Batman?" Blah blah blah. This, you know,
Yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
thing. You know, that's how shit gets
I-
introduced. You know, to each other.
I had a friend introduce me to Walking Dead, like around issue 3 when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't read that stuff. And he said, no, dude, you got to read it. And he let me borrow all his Walking Deads, like the original,
Yeah.
which are probably worth hundreds.
Yeah.
His are probably worth nothing because he let me borrow them.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah. So that's how you get introduced. And then like a lot of this stuff started going on ESPN, you know? Like
Yeah, they showed that.
yeah. So then after that it was mainstream. But it was
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was so cool watching
behind the
the show.
scenes, yeah.
Yeah, it's these guys that just liked basketball. They loved basketball like you would just play for hours. And they're in business school and they wanted to do their own thing. So they started making shirts. They started selling at the back of a car.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger
Yeah.
and bigger. And I think one of their shirts was like on an episode of Fresh Prince. And then all of a sudden that like blew them up. So
Oh,
there's
and
always little
Friends.
moments that kind of
They
help.
showed Chandler wearing a shirt, I think. Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just watching these guys get bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually it kind of imploded on itself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because all of a sudden it was gone. Like I remember I was like, "Oh, I need a new shirt. I wanted to get more and one stuff." And it just stopped being around. It wasn't at Foot Locker, it wasn't at Champs, it wasn't, you know, anywhere. So it was hard to get. And it's all like, you know,
Yeah,
kind of like it was kind of before everybody started shopping online, so it's like it's not like you can, maybe I can go on Amazon right now and find some old fucking and one shit.
Probably could. And it's so cool. This documentary goes into like the play. They show like the footage from like 20 plus years ago. All these kids
Yeah.
playing basketball and who their stars
Yeah.
were, and then it breaks down to like their current selves, like talking about it. And some were like super like appreciative.
Yeah.
It shows you like these fucking children
Yeah.
that were like 20 years old, being taken to like Paris and Japan and like
Yeah.
to promote the brand. Like, whoa. And like years later, they felt like they were taken advantage of, and some of them felt that way, some of them didn't. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's its. What are your thoughts?
No, yeah, it's really interesting, and it's kind of like it piggybacks on the professional amateur kind of thing, where like
Oh yeah,
in college now they're gonna start having tiers or something like that if you join. I don't know what it's called, but they're gonna start paying some of the players and stuff if the NCAA uses your likeness. But yeah, like back then there was no real rules or structure or laws. Like you signed on to play and you let us record you, so there's no wage. What do they call it? Wage like structure for the
yeah.
players
There's
and
no,
stuff.
zero structure. It's just
So
like and it sucks because these guys were kids, so like
yeah,
they're making literally nothing. So if they gave them a little something, that was a lot
it was a
more. But
lot to
then there's
them.
that.
Yeah,
But it was a lot because it showed these kids like showing like this one guy walks up to the camera. He says, "Hey, these earrings were like 2,500, and this was like 20 years ago." I was
yeah,
like, should this kid be spending $2,500
yeah,
on some earrings?
yeah,
Like clearly he has the money, but clearly he doesn't know how to spend it right. So that's always the issue with like young athletes and money. They
yeah,
think it's gonna last forever, and it usually it's very finite.
yeah, yeah. I liked it, man, and I remember like one of the guys, like his name was Skip to My Lou. That guy made it to the NBA. He made it all the way to the pros. His real name's
Yeah, I saw that.
Ray for Alston, and not everybody could make it because a lot of these guys were either college prospects or because they're good players, man. They're great players. It's not like they were scrubs or anything. It's just that they were a little either too old or a little bit, or they were injured where they couldn't play like the regular schedule that they do in college or the NBA. So yeah, it was really interesting, and it was cool to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. And I remember watching those tapes, man, and watching those and like those moves. Everybody just wanted to do the moves, the dribbling and
Yeah,
shit and all that, like bouncing the ball off somebody's head, and you're like, damn, how do you not fight after that? But yeah, man, Untold on Netflix. They have some cool
it's
stuff on
good.
there, man.
Yeah, there's two others: the Mouse in the Palace and the Mantiteo one.
Yeah,
I want to check those out at some point.
yeah. I
And
watched the Malice in the Palace. It's good.
maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah,
We'll see if I can get around to that.
yeah.
But yeah, it looked really cool. I saw the trailer. I'm like, damn, I never even heard of this shit.
No, oh man, I remember when it happened, dude.
No.
Like like I follow the NBA pretty hardcore, and I remember when that happened too.
Yeah, not a basketball guy. So I think as I just sucked at basketball all through like
Yeah,
middle school, I was like, fuck, this game is the worst game ever.
yeah,
So that was my basketball background right there. Um, but yeah. But yeah, Untold and One.
yeah,
Check it out on Netflix. It's worth watching. Like when you see the cultural impact, I had no idea about. It was
yeah.
I was like, okay. I felt slightly enlightened. That was really cool.
Cool.
I got to learn something.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, moving on to trailers. We got some interesting ones. First one, we got the Weird Al Yankovic trailer. I think it's just called the Weird Yankovic story.
I think it's just called Weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. Weird. The Al Yankovic
Yeah.
story.
Starring the
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah. What'd you think?
Mr. Harry Potter himself.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Um, it looked like they didn't have a lot of money to spend, and they were trying to do their best with what they could.
Yeah.
And number one, I remember Weird Al growing up. Like I thought he was amazing. Like you could do this. Like it's a total different take of like this guy's like breaking all the rules. Like
What's
are you
the
allowed
first
to
song
do
that you
this?
remember?
Oh man,
I know which one I remember. The first one I
it
remember.
had to have been one of his Michael Jackson ones.
Yeah.
Eat It. I think it might have been
Eat It.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, me too. Dude, it was so funny. I was like, does he only do like fat ones? Because he did Eat It and then he said fat. Who's
And
fat?
he did lasagna.
Yeah.
His lasagna one where he does with his little what is that thing even called? Xylophone? I don't whatever he plays. It's so funny. Like this dude was so different. He just like did his thing, man. And I actually saw him in concert once,
Oh,
maybe
really?
even twice. Actually, I was told like you have to go
Oh, it was a good
because
show.
he puts on a straight up stage production.
Yeah,
Like he put the full costumes for like every song. I'm like, it was impressive.
yeah,
Because someone I knew went and saw like, no, you don't understand. It's like watching a play live, and I'm
yeah,
like with music, and I'm like, what?
yeah.
So it was, yeah, we saw him at San Diego State, I think, once, and then did the Del Mar Fair once.
Oh, cool,
Dude, it was a blast. It
cool.
was a blast.
Yeah. Well, I put this trailer on because I just remember like nostalgia. I'm like, oh, I wonder if it'd be kind of cool to
Yeah.
see how these songs came to be, or like hopefully they do a good job with the story. Yeah, the budget and all that stuff. It's it doesn't look like it's a quality film, but um, I
It could be fun.
yeah, for the story, for me,
And Dan Rick is going to do a good job.
yeah,
So I'm curious, but we'll see.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be free. I read it's gonna be on the Roku channel. I don't know if you have a Roku, but it's gonna be
I
on
do have a Roku.
it's gonna be on the Roku
I didn't
channel.
I didn't know Roku had a channel. All right. Good for it.
Yeah. Next
All
up,
right, what's next?
in the completely wild and crazy category, we got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and or Honey and Blood,
Honey
Blood and
and
Honey.
blood.
Oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna try
Dude.
to describe this. Okay, just picture uh 20 growing up Christopher Robin going back to the Golden Acres, 100 acres, or what's it called? And basically all the little animals that he used to love and be friends with have turned into psychopathic killers, right?
And killed half of each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like uh, a family story meets The Hills Have Eyes or something like that. You know?
I would say so.
Yeah,
I would say also like I was like, it's like a parody, but it's like a parody that takes itself seriously, but it's
yeah,
also a parody because I think the budget was like $20 and some volunteer actors, and they didn't have a script, and they
yeah,
just went out and like let's make everything dark, and let's definitely not show the people wear the costumes much because our budget was $20,
yeah,
and let's try to have not people talk too much because they're not professional actors, they have no idea what they're doing, and action.
yeah.
If that's what it looks like.
And the costume
They are
designer, I think you know where I think they got the costume designer from. They got him
what?
from whoever designs the little clay piggy banks at the when you cross the border and stuff.
Oh yeah, he went to Mexico and they said, "Where's this guy? Take me to his
Yeah,
headquarters."
I was like, oh, you got the colors, but the face, I think it's not the same, but close enough. Let's get you.
They got that little abuelita
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
TJ molding the mask. He's like, "Does this look like Winnie the Pooh?"
yeah,
Close enough.
yeah, close enough. Those costume designs is horrible. They're horrible.
No, it's like they had the original costume and they left it in like a car on a hot day and it just like melted into like this
Yeah,
fucked up thing where you're like, "What the hell is?" And they're like, well, we got to use it.
yeah. So if you like B slasher movies
Dude, I don't even think
slash
it's B.
C slasher movies
Yeah.
with whimsical little animals turned into
No,
psychopathic killers, this is your
I'd call
shit.
this a student film.
Student
This is like
film?
student film level.
Oh
Yeah, I
damn.
call it student film
Student
level.
film level. All right. What do you think? What do you think would be worse, this or the upcoming Monsters movie?
Oh my god, if I had to choose,
Yes.
oh my god, don't do that to me.
I have a choice already. I think I would watch this.
I think this would at least be like unintentional laughs versus the monsters would have neither.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Or which one would put you to sleep first? Huh. Interesting.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
don't know.
Anyways, moving on to
It,
the next film. Unless you got something else?
I think this movie's gonna do 10 times better than it's gonna normally do because of the name and the curiosity. I think the people involved, like the director, I bet you they're gonna land some big deals after this because they're getting publicity based on the name alone.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that rolls out.
Yeah. I wonder if there's gonna be any parents that just see Winnie the Pooh and they buy tickets without looking at what it is, and they take their kids and oh my god, you know, they murder somebody in front of their
See,
kids.
dude, they should just have like child protective service agencies agents standing at the door of that theater. So as soon as they walk in with
Yeah,
their kids, like, ma'am, come with me.
yeah, you can't raise your kid.
We gotta talk. We gotta have an intervention.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? What's the
Next, we
next
got
trailer?
this Emily Blunt movie. We love Emily Blunt. She's in a western. It's called The English.
Yeah,
Uh, all things I like. I don't know. How do you feel about the trailer?
I didn't like it.
It seems a little something's missing, right?
Weird. She didn't. The dialogue seemed weird. She didn't seem like she was in. She still seemed like a weird accent. Um, it just felt like melodramatic and forced, and like, what is this?
Yeah,
Like, it just seemed. It just seemed movie of the weekish. Like there was like something
yeah,
off, and I was just kind of like, I think I turned the trailer off like maybe 3/4 of the way, and I'm like, I'm good. Like
yeah,
it just didn't feel. It didn't fit right.
yeah,
And like, why would she do this? She's good.
yeah. I
Like
know.
she does legit. I don't know. It just feels like a weird B movie. I
Yeah,
don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe it's awesome. Maybe the trailer was just cut poorly. I don't know.
yeah. Same here, man.
What were your
There was
thoughts?
something missing. I'm like, damn, man. I'm a sucker for westerns, and I was not happy with it. I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't think I could tell you anything that happened in the trailer, and I watched the whole thing. I'm just like, I think she was on
Well,
a horse or in a wagon, and I think she tried
there's a
to
prairie.
hire. I think she tried to hire a Native American person,
Yeah.
and I think that's it. And the guy spoke really well, good English. I'm like, damn, that
Oh
guy's
yeah.
English is impeccable. That guy's English is better than my English.
It's better than her. No, her dude. That fucking Indian dude's Native American. Sorry. His English was better than Emily Blunt's English, and
Yeah,
she's from England.
yeah, that guy's English was amazing.
Yeah.
But
So,
we'll see,
anyways,
man. I don't know if it's free
I don't know.
somewhere. I'll watch it. Definitely
I
not
don't
going
know.
to the movies for that shit.
It's not, it's pretty low on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of list, um,
Yeah.
we added a couple things to the list, and the
New
these
to
are
the list.
new to the list. Yeah, I think we've mentioned it before, but 13 Lives on Amazon Prime, starring
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell, Joel Edgerton, directed by Ron Howard. Um,
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of really cool word of mouth. So I'm like, damn, you gotta watch it, man. It's really good. So that's why I put it back on the list because I think when it came out, we mentioned it, but I've had like 3 or 4 people tell me that it's really good. So I'm gonna definitely check it out this week, I think, and report
What's
back.
yeah. What's crazy is this is a movie based on the what's it? I guess 13 kids like that got trapped in a cave in Thailand that got flooded out while they were exploring it.
Yeah,
I think they were stuck there for like 20 days. I'm trying to remember.
yeah,
And it was like this massive effort to try to get them out of there.
yeah,
And then there's actually a documentary on Disney right now based on this that came out like months and months and months ago. I watched like the first half. It's good. It
yeah,
was shot by the same dude who shot a bunch of footage for Free Solo. So
yeah,
like the footage is crazy of the actual cave.
yeah,
So that was a badass documentary.
yeah,
And then this is like an actual fictional, well, nonfiction film,
yeah,
not a documentary,
yeah,
directed by Ron Howard, who's always pretty damn good with Viggo Mortensen. I'm
yeah,
like, dude, this is gonna be good.
yeah,
And it's yeah, it's a compelling story. Like, who would just want to go save a bunch of kids?
yeah,
And like these dudes fly in from like England. I think they find like the best master diver, cave diver. Like they're diving through like literally darkness of like
yeah,
just caves, and they have to go to like the right cave to find these kids. So it's nuts. And
yeah,
they had like hundreds of support people. Like they had to like empty the water out of the cave just to keep those kids where they're at, like from flooding. And they had like these systems running like 24/7. Like it's nuts.
yeah.
So yeah, from a logistical point of view, I really want to watch this film.
Yeah, you should, man. I'm gonna check it out this week, and I'm excited for it. I almost put it on last night, but it was too late. Uh,
Yeah, 13 Lives for Prime.
yeah. Okay, and moving on to a TV show on Amazon Prime called A League of Their Own. It's a remake. We all love the original movie with Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, ton of people on it. Iconic film. But the show, I've also gotten good feedback or positive.
I've heard good things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard really good. I've heard like very good
yeah.
things.
So I think I'm gonna check it out. And for one, the most obvious thing is that this this show is really inclusive. You know what I'm saying? There's like the movie did not have a lot of representation. This film,
The
this
movie was not very colorful.
no, this show seems like there's a lot of you know different people being included. So, gonna check it out, and hopefully it's good. I just wanted to
Yeah,
have
let me know.
heart. You know what I'm saying? Like the movie.
I'm sure it will be. The movie has heart. The movie's great, man.
Yeah,
Here,
Penny Marshall.
here's my fun. Yeah, here's my funny League of Their Own story from the movie. They actually filmed the original film in Evansville, Indiana. And at the time, my great grandmother was living in Evansville, Indiana. And I was like, oh, like no one ever goes there
Yeah.
to film anything. And I found that out. I'm like, wait a minute, my grandma and I just happened to she happened to be in town. I told her do you know they're filming that big movie in your town? I was this kid, I was like, wow, it's amazing. And the first thing my great grandmother says, and she's she's older. She looks at me and she says, yeah, they got that floozy Madonna in it. No one wants her there, that hussy. She started going off on Madonna, my great
Damn.
grandma, because she saw her as
Yeah.
the sluttiest slutster of all sluts. And I was like, holy shit. Like, okay, grandma, I won't ask again.
Yeah. That's funny.
Dude, that was pretty wild.
Not what you
Like,
intended,
no,
right?
don't tell me. Not when you're a kid, too.
You're
No.
like, that's not where you wanted the conversation to go.
Like, grandma is going some places right now. She has some anger. But yeah, that was funny. That's like one of my associated memories with the League of Their Own.
Nice.
All right, man. Moving
All
on.
right, moving on. We got our double feature for this week, and in honor of a football season finally started this week, we're gonna pick a football movie each. What do you got?
Yeah.
We're,
You go first. I went first last week.
all right.
I got several, so I'm ready. I'm
Yeah,
ready to go.
I got a few too, but I'm gonna go with not an obvious pick, and I'm gonna go with Draft Day, a
Oh,
with Kevin
interesting.
Costner. And the reason I'm going
Yeah.
with Kevin Costner is because, or with Draft Day, is because I'm in a fantasy league and I recently had my fantasy draft, and I kind of totally relate to general managers and the pressure to drafting a successful winning franchise. So, so that's why.
I want to ask you so much about your current franchise, but I don't want to.
Just letting you know, I'm coming off a championship run, so I'm the defending champ. All right, put some respect on my name, and yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So
That movie's good. I
yeah,
like that
it's
movie.
it's
It's
cool. I mean, it would never happen in real
it's
life, but
no.
but it's interesting. There was a nice little twist there, and
It was fun seeing
I like
like
this late
yeah
late
the behind.
stage Kevin Costner. I like it. I like this. I like Yellowstone. So, um,
That show that film's really tight. Like it's tightly done. Like the writing and you're into it the whole time, and it all takes place within like 12 hours or something like that,
yeah,
which is a lot of fun.
yeah. So yeah, that's my pick.
So it's
Draft
like,
Day.
all right, I like that movie. Um, I had three, and I'm going for my most serious in the film now. I was like, this movie is like 10 times better than it should have been. And my pick is Friday Night Lights,
Oh, good one.
the film,
Yeah,
and
Bobby.
that movie.
What's his name?
Peter Berg directed
Yeah,
it. What's his name? I forgot the name of half the actors in this
Thornton.
film. But Billy Bob Thornton is like the coach in the small Texas
Yeah,
Odessa, and they kind of get into like high school football is life
yeah,
in these places. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. It's like a different cultural. They really capture that essence of like the culture of it all in this small area, and the style of the film. It's mostly all handheld, and the soundtrack or the score is like super unique. It's like this band that they got that does like instrumentals like type songs only.
Yeah.
And they got this band to score the film, and it's like a good fucking score. And every character in the film has like a purpose and like is unique. They're not just all throwaways. Like everyone has like their place and plays their part, and it's all very clear. And it also goes into like they're in high school, they're kids, and they're like having to be little warriors at such a young age with all this pressure and like everyone's staring at them. It's like, damn, man, like it's a good film. Like it, and the end, and you're in the whole time. Like it's good.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, I played high school football, so I was like, yeah. It's like I hated all that shit, like this and that, but we did it.
Yeah. I read Tim McGraw. I was like,
good.
damn, Tim McGraw's a dick.
Oh yeah, the dad.
Yeah. That's crazy. It was a good movie, man. That was a really good movie.
I was expecting nothing, and a buddy, like, fuck, this is like early 2000s, like brought over the DVD to our place. Like, oh, check this out. I'm like, all right. Yeah. And we just put it on. And we thought we were going to turn it off. But we just watched the whole damn thing. We're like, that was good. Like, good.
I think Peter Berg is underrated, man.
He is.
He has a misses, but, man, I like a lot of his films. They're just kind of rewatchable.
He misses by a mile when he misses, but he swings for the fences, I think, every time. So if it doesn't connect, he misses by a mile. But when he hits, like, it's good.
I
like The Rundown.
Yeah, I like The Kingdom. You know, I like that movie.
The Kingdom was dope.
Yeah. I think when he gets into like the big movies, I think his lane is like the intermediate medium movies. You know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. That's a good pick, dude. I think it's a good double feature right there.
Man. I kind of want to watch Friday Night's Lights now. But yeah, that's one that has nothing but football, and the other one has no football. But I think they both totally connect and work.
Yeah. That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's our show. Any last thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say earlier, you know who I think won this week? Fucking Prime.
Yeah.
They fucking brought the pain.
Yeah.
And they were like a little neck and neck, and then Rings of Power dropped.
Yeah.
And just fucking whoop, 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 top of the list.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's my thought right now. I'm like, dude.
So now I'm like, man, on Sunday, Game of Thrones needs to step it up.
Dude, seriously. We'll see how it goes. I think they're going to do good.
It's crazy because they both have that same amount of episodes out.
I wonder if, like, Rings of Power delayed by like a week or two. So when they hit their finale like a week or two after Game of Thrones, no one's going to be talking about Game of Thrones, but everyone's going to be talking about the Rings of Power. Just to kind of like...
Well, how many episodes is it? Are they both 10? Because they have the same shows. Because they released two at once.
No, but Game of Thrones was a week earlier. Oh, wait a minute.
No,
right.
Sunday to Friday.
You're right. This is going to get interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah. They're going to end it the same fucking week, basically. Damn.
We got a lot to watch.
Yeah.
All right.
That's cool.
Wrapping it up.
All right, guys. That's our show. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe and leave any comments or recommendations. And maybe we're missing something you guys like. With that said,
oh yeah,
go ahead.
Also, I had an idea. Listeners, if you're just staring at the screen, that sucks because it doesn't move. It's just a still. If listeners have an idea for a double feature, a theme, shout it out in the comments and we'll discuss it. Maybe pick a few.
Yeah.
As double features is fun for us. We could do most anything, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Throw some stuff at us. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Give us some crazy themes. We'll try to see what we can do. That could be a fun thing.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Francisco.
And I'm Andres.
Have a great week.